This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. Police have charged 2 teenagers accused of lighting a bushfire in Launceston's northern suburbs on Sunday night. Authorities are also still hunting for suspects over a second fire, which is believed to have been deliberately lit in the same area last night.
This was the second bushfire to spark up in Rochalee in as many days. A blaze spanning 60 hectares, the response mobilising nearly 50 firefighters and multiple water bombers. What's worse, police say this second fire was deliberately lit. The public is being called on to help identify the offenders.
We don't have any offenders for that at the moment, but we are interested to hear from anyone that might know the identity of a person or the person themselves that was driving around in a blue quad bike at the back of Rochalee yesterday.
But police have laid charges over a separate bushfire on Sunday. 2 15-year-old boys have been summoned to appear in court at a later date.
And obviously they will be spoken to as part of this investigation.
Police ordered staff at the nearby RSPCA to evacuate when the fire flared up. 2 managers were allowed to stay behind.
I had to actually push them out that gate virtually last night and say, you need to leave.
The RSPCA received criticism online for following the evacuation orders. The centre says it does not have a formal evacuation plan, but estimates it would take around 4 hours to remove all the animals on site. And in last night's emergency, the only road in and out was closed by police.
It's always going to be very difficult to get 150 plus animals safely out in an emergency, and that means safe for the animals and safe for the humans involved. When it happens very quickly like that, it's just putting everyone in danger trying to do anything like that.
Police were seen speaking to a number of residents around the area last night. Firefighters are bracing for more hot and dry conditions this week.
We're already looking at what personnel we've got available, what resources we need to allocate to different areas.
Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
A man charged with the manslaughter of a man in Warrane on Saturday night has today pleaded not guilty. Paul Christopher Thompson was found dead in his lounge room by his housemate, who has since been charged over the death. Our reporter Louise Hedger filed this report earlier.
Lawrence Charles Keane appeared here at Hobart Magistrates Court this morning. He's charged with 1 count of manslaughter following the death of his friend and housemate, 57-year-old Paul Christopher Thompson. It's alleged the pair were involved in an altercation on their property at Torres Road in Warrane on Saturday evening. Police allege Mr Keane struck Mr Thompson twice in the head, resulting in his death. The 53-year-old pleaded not guilty to the charge and has been remanded in custody. There were no police at the scene today, but we spoke with a neighbour who described her reaction when she heard the news.
When they told me it was Tom, my eyes filled with tears. I just missed seeing him around because he'd sing out and ask how you were going, and if he was going down the street, do you need anything? Because he'd get it for you. And he was that type of person.
Mr Keane didn't apply for bail today. He is expected to appear in Hobart's Supreme Court in March.
A man has died after a tree felling incident while he was working at a rural property in the state's northwest. Police say the 72-year-old was cutting down trees on the 4th property before a limb fell on him. Emergency services arriving at the property at 8 o'clock this morning. The man died at the scene. A report is being prepared for the coroner. Both major parties are continuing to roll out election promises, despite the official campaign yet to start. But as the Liberals attempt to catch out the Labor leader in talks with the Jackie Lambie network, the Premier's made a revelation of his own.
It's the campaign without an election date.
All right, how far off are we?
A question only for the Premier today, continuing re-election promises.
Would be the largest government investment in affordable housing in this state's history.
Just moments after an attempt to catch out Labor leader Rebecca White.
Ms White will cut a deal with whoever she possibly can, and she's in open discussions with minority parties at the moment.
The Liberals capitalising on comments made by Jackie Lambie this morning.
I've spoken to Beck, we've been out for dinner, we've kept her, this has been going on for a while. Beck could see what was going on, and she's been very, very good with that, and that is the way to play the game.
Described as a desperate ploy by the opposition over a dinner held last year.
That was when Jackie Lambie was a senator for Tasmania with a lot of influence.
If people think back to how the last Labor-Green government started, it was just a bike ride up the hill between Nick McKim and David Bartlett. So having dinner, that might be the latest version.
Where's the Premier, the Treasurer been? They're too busy being wined and dined by the pokies barons.
The Liberals' own polling suggests they could be left with 12 seats, one shy of a majority. The Premier today indicating a potential return to the ballot box if that polling rings true.
We are not entertaining anything other than giving Tasmanians the best shot at keeping the state heading in the right direction.
If the Liberals do not win a majority at the next election, it'll be them in the hot seat in the first instance.
A hot seat Will Hodgman's not comfortable in, but one Peter Gutwin could be.
You're taking a leap there into the hypothetical, and I'm not going to play hypotheticals.
Hypotheticals that could soon become a reality. Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
We can reveal an election tradition will be in for a shake-up this year with a change of venue for the tally room. Historically held at West Point Casino, the Electoral Commission is now considering 2 alternative locations for the election night hub. The Greens have previously raised concerns the federal group-owned venue would be highly political, given the poker machine debate.
I thought it was really important that the Electoral Commission had a venue for the tally room night that was above politics and couldn't be viewed as part of corporate Tasmania finding its way into democracy.
Southern Cross News understands Princes Wharf 1 and the Grand Chancellor are possible venues. The National Union of Workers is concerned about the future job security at the Edith Creek milk processing facility in the state's northwest. Thailand company Dutch Mill agreed to purchase the factory off Murray Goulburn in an 11th hour deal last November. The following day, Murray Goulburn closed the site, costing 120 people their jobs. The union says it's written to Dutch Mill requesting a meeting regarding future jobs, but has had no response. The sale is expected to be completed early this year, with the factory to reopen soon after. A man who sustained flash burns to his face and hands in a workplace incident yesterday remains in a stable condition at the Royal Hobart Hospital. The 32-year-old was excavating a trench on Argyle Street in Hobart when sudden flames flared up, causing his injuries. He was undertaking contract work for Taswater. WorkSafe Tasmania is investigating the incident. The bosses of Tasmanian Irrigation claim they're cutting executive pays and trying to make the organisation more efficient in an effort to reduce costs for farmers. The operations of the government business enterprise are being scrutinised this week as part of a Legislative Council inquiry into the future management of the organisation.
What have you actually done? What have you changed?
There have been enormous changes to directors' fees, there have been enormous changes to CEO salaries, there have been enormous changes to the senior management level and reduction in the numbers of senior management.
Tasmanian Irrigation says it still has a lot of work to do to improve and is open to the idea of local farmers managing constructed irrigation schemes. The public hearings will continue until Thursday. Tasmanians are being urged to roll up their sleeves and donate blood this long weekend. The Red Cross says it needs more than 60 residents in Launceston alone to keep up with demand between Australia Day and January 30.
Well, I originally decided to give blood because I just love helping people and I love the cause behind it. You're saving lives, so it doesn't really get any better than that.
Speaker Mark Shelton making his 140th whole blood donation.
This time of the year when there's holiday period, people have got other priorities and so the blood stocks go down. There's a long weekend coming up and so there's more accidents and so forth and so there's more blood needed of a long weekend. So there's always a reason that people should be giving blood.
The Red Cross says it takes 1 hour to donate. Tasmanian patients now have access to a state-of-the-art cancer treatment centre, with the facility officially opened today in Hobart. The $15 million Icon Centre provides all-round cancer care, from diagnosis to radiation and chemotherapy treatment.
Loud? Yep. Marking the end of her treatment here.
I'm done!
Karen Johnston is one of the first patients to go through the new Icon Cancer Centre.
I think it's definitely helped. I'm feeling more confident and I still have a very large operation to go through, but I'm looking forward to getting better.
Officially opened by the Health Minister today, the facility provides comprehensive care. Under the one roof, a pharmacy, 8 chemotherapy chairs and radiation therapy with a $3 million linear accelerator. For some patients, it means they won't have to travel interstate for treatment.
A cancer diagnosis for patients and their families is an incredibly stressful time. We don't need to add to that having to travel to the mainland and be away from your family, your friends, and in many cases your occupation.
Support is a major need for many patients and their families. The Cancer Council has staff on hand 3 days a week.
So here at the support centre we can actually offer support to many people. We can provide wigs, wig consults, we can provide face-to-face support, and we can actually advise them about the whole range of support services that Cancer Council Tasmania can provide.
It means everything. You come in the door and you're scared. You are absolutely scared. You don't know what's going to happen. You want your questions answered, and they are answered.
You know that the nurses here and the people working here on the machines and whatnot are very, very professional, essentially, and that it's reassuring that you know that you've got your mother in the right hands.
A facility providing hope for Tasmanians affected by cancer. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
The UTAS Stadium Gate 1 entrance will undergo construction next week to enable larger crowd access. The $400,000 upgrade is funded by the federal government and Launceston Council. It will see a new car entrance, ticket selling area and a security station.
Convenient and easy for people to enter the stadium, particularly on big days, but also safer.
We want to get more games. That's the exciting thing. We want to keep getting more events here, and to do that we've got to have the right infrastructure in place. We've got to make sure the ground is at that standard, not just for a standard for the best in Tasmania, but a standard that meets the best in Australia.
Construction is scheduled to be completed in April. All lanes of the Tasman Bridge will be closed to traffic during this year's Run the Bridge event. Previously, only 3 of the 5 lanes were closed, allowing vehicles to cross while the event was on. Organisers say the change will improve safety and make the fun run more enjoyable for those taking part. This year's Run the Bridge is on Sunday, the 18th of February. Authorities are seeking public help to find the person who shot a paddy melon south of Hobart on the weekend. The Department of Primary Industries, Parks, Water and Environment says the severely injured animal was found by a member of the public at Conningham Beach at around 11:30 Sunday night. It's understood to have endured hours of suffering and had to be put down by a vet. Bow hunting is illegal in Tasmania, with offenders facing a $30,000 fine or 5 years in prison. Anyone with information is asked to contact wildlife rangers or Crime Stoppers. Organisers of the Sandy Bay Regatta are including new events for the Australia Day celebration. Crowds are expected to take to the water with a taste of sailing, kayaking and stand-up paddleboarding. For the first time, it will include a beach water polo competition.
We run a host of activities both on the water and the land, which keeps it relevant to the community.
As well as water sports, the event includes Hobart's official Australia Day citizenship ceremony. Mona Foma will say its final goodbyes tonight as this year's summer festival wraps up. Organisers thrilled with the crowd turnout, with thousands of visitors taking part over the last 12 days.
We had good houses for Monumental in Launceston, and we had a whole bunch of other art exhibits that were all reported better at the best attendance they've ever had in their galleries, for example. So we'd have to say it's been pretty successful.
But there's one last hurrah, with some tickets still available for the Violent Femmes and the TSO, who play Federation Concert Hall at 7:30 this evening. Next year's festival will be based entirely in Launceston. Let's take a look at the day's business and finance news now, with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The share market has posted its best daily gains since October, as all sectors gained ground following a strong lead from Wall Street and a rise in oil prices. The ASX 200 index has risen by 45.1 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 79.84 US cents and 109 New Zealand cents.
Former world number 7 Paddy Schnyder is making Tasmania a part of her comeback to professional tennis. The 39-year-old will enter next month's Launceston International.
She's played top-ranked women like Serena Williams and beaten them, and Justine Henin and Caroline Wozniacki, all former world number ones. She's absolutely the most experienced player we have on the list.
Schneider spent 4 years in retirement to focus on raising a family. And after leading 4 breakaways in last week's Tour Down Under, Tasmanian Scott Bowden will compete at the Cadell Evans Great Ocean Road Race this Sunday. Bowden was awarded Most Competitive Rider on Stage 3 of the Tour, where he braved temperatures above 40 degrees. Nathan Earl and Richie Port will also compete in the Great Ocean Road Race. Meanwhile, Port has revealed an overhaul to his schedule leading up to the Tour de France. He will miss the Paris-Nice and Criterium de Dauphiné to ride events in Italy and Switzerland. The change comes as Port expects his first child with wife Gemma in May.
Good evening. Hobart 27 today, Launceston reached 25, Burnie 26 and Devonport 24. 28 was the high at Cressy and Fingal, and apart from a little light shower activity over the southwest, another fine, mostly sunny day across the state. Campania and Wynyard 26, Bushy Park and Friendly Beaches 25, Grove 24, St Helens 23, Lowhead, Lyreweenie and Flinders Island 22 degrees, King Island 21, Strawn 20. A frontal cloud band is off our southeast as more cloud streams in from central WA across the country to New South Wales. Cloud with the monsoonal activity is over northern Australia. Low-level cloud over western areas today with a little patchy high cloud over the south. Tomorrow a trough is near our east with a cold front approaching from the west. The high is over the Bight and the broad area of low pressure persists over the mainland. Winds over the east coast tending southeasterly to 15 knots in the afternoon, while over other waters 10 to 20 knot west and northwesterly winds will tend southwesterly during the late afternoon. Swells rising above 3 metres in western and southern waters. For Hobart tomorrow, a sunny 27, 26 the top for Geeveston and partly cloudy, Bothwell sunny and 27 degrees. For Launceston, hot and sunny, reaching 30, 25 the top for Devonport, and while you look at those temperatures there, Cressy 31 degrees, a very high fire danger for the central, north and Midlands districts tomorrow. For Burnie, sunny and 25, bit of cloud over Strawn, 22 and 20 the top for Curry, while for St Helens tomorrow, 27 the maximum, 26 for Swansea, Orford 25 degrees. And as you would expect, the UV extreme. On Thursday, a morning shower over the east and southeast, but fine for the rest with locally hot conditions inland. A possible shower over the northeast on Friday, another warm to hot day with light winds. Fine and hot on Saturday, partly cloudy with humidity on the rise. Sunny in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow and later over Melbourne, partly cloudy for the other centres, apart from a shower over Cairns and of course rain for Darwin. A little bit of cloud around at the moment, 21 in Hobart, 24 in Launceston, and 22 currently in Devonport. Some warm weather heading our way, Joe. This time next week, though, we'll be telling you about 3 days of forecast rain.
Oh, fabulous. Thanks. Let's mix it up a bit. Thank you very much, Murph. Well, that's all from the team for now. Thanks so much for your company. We'll of course, see you with updates right throughout the evening. Bye-bye.